Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Biden in Michigan in the primary, which is coming up on February 27th, I believe. And we're going to talk about a question that came in, and we're going to talk about a couple of groups up there and what they're trying to do and how they're trying to message to Biden during the primary. And we're just going to kind of run through it because it's definitely something that's going to come up, and it's worth talking about. And the message is, can you please speak out against the people who are saying not to vote for Biden in the Michigan primary, or those saying to vote uncommitted? We need unity, not division. Okay. So first, I don't tell people how to vote. I don't believe that's my place. The other thing is, the people who are saying this, what's their goal? What is their actual goal with this? And not the strategy of trying to message and all of that, but they want people to stop getting hurt, right? They want something done about Palestine, and they want people to stop dying. I do not see that as a bad goal. So when it comes to something like that, even if, let's say, I do not think that this is the most effective way to message to Biden. Even if I believed that, I wouldn't go against what they're trying. Their goal is good. I believe in a diversity of tactics. So it's not something I would speak out against, even if I don't think it's, the most effective way to do it. For me to punch left on something like this, it's a situation where whatever they're doing is actively harmful. If it's not actively harmful, a diversity of tactics normally pays off. Even if I don't think it's the most effective thing, I do know that I could be wrong, So the other thing to keep in mind here is that this is a primary. This is when they're supposed to message. This is when they're supposed to do something like this. The primary process is supposed to help shape platforms and stuff like that. This is the right time to do it. And then you have to look at risk versus reward. What is likely to come of this? And just run through the options. If you look at, so you look at one option would be that there's no meaningful change. Like these movements, these groups, they don't actually get any traction and nothing really changes at the polls. So what happens? Nothing. It's not harmful, right? What happens if best case scenario, they get a best case scenario, and not just is the message sent, but Biden receives it. Now, what they're hoping for is a ceasefire. Realistically, again, a lot of the people who are supporting these movements, they are not thinking foreign policy, international poker game, masters of the universe type stuff. They're thinking people are getting hurt and I want it to stop. So the way they're looking at it, what they want is a ceasefire. Is that likely? No, not really. But that doesn't mean it couldn't send a message that could get real change. As an example, just off the top of my head, Biden is behind the Senate package that has the $9 billion in humanitarian aid for Palestinians. The appeasement package for the House Republicans, it doesn't have that. Something like this might send a message to the administration that encourages Biden to say something like, look, we're not even doing this without that, and draw a harder line there. End result, it saves lives. Best case scenario, it saves lives. What's the worst case scenario? Like for real. Not doomsday stuff where, it turns into something where Trump immediately takes over. This is a primary. Realistically, let's say the Biden strategists become convinced that 3 to 4%. They're going to lose 3 or 4 points over this. And there's no way to get them back, which is some of the messaging that's being sent out. What happens? Biden shifts to center. Biden shifts to the right, shifts a little to center, shifts a little to right on some topics to make up those percentage points from the center. That's your worst case scenario. It's not ideal, but I don't know that when your payoff, your potential reward is literally saving lives and your risk is Biden uses more centrist rhetoric. I mean, I don't know that that's a huge risk. Again, this isn't about whether or not I think this is a good idea. Is it harmful? I don't think it is. I don't believe it's harmful, and I think that there's a chance that it sends a message. I don't think it would lead to a ceasefire, but it could lead to other tangible things that save lives. I'm cool with that. Again, this is the primary. This is when you're supposed to pull stunts like this. So I know that for a lot of people, it's going to be uncomfortable. But the people who might benefit from this, they're way more uncomfortable. So, I mean, this is just one of those things that occurs in politics. And it's messaging. If it's received and acted on, it saves lives. If it's received and they feel like they can't do anything with it, it moves them to the center a little bit prior to the election and probably doesn't actually even change any real position, just rhetoric to get the points from the middle that were lost on the left. I'm okay with that risk. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.